right, YouTube, good morning. We are just getting started here. Bear with me for a moment while I finish getting things set up. Need to find the broadcast here, so give me a moment. I am at the right place. Okay. That is that. Not lastly, I need to get my Zoom set up so my colleague Tono can join us. He's probably waiting. Okay, where's my Zoom? There's Zoom. Okay, that's not what I wanted to do. I needed to go to my calendar, and that's why I don't see that. Okay. Here we are. Today. All right. There we are. All right, now I'm going to share that screen. Get some music going for us here. Perhaps. Here we come. Everything's huffing and puffing here as I get everything ramped up. All right, let me get this going. Pop out chat. Move that over here. Okay, there's that. Chat goes there. All right, so far so good. Now we are a little bit behind. I'm still uploading the pre-session analysis, so let me get to that. And let's see. Not cooperating. And there we are. Okay. Looks like we're going down here. This might be a trade, actually. But I don't want to get into a trade so precipitously. Okay, it looks like that is down. Now let's get this up. All right. Let's get our video description in there. I think we are just about ready to go. Gold analysis. Not made for children. You know, it's okay if children see it. And education, but I put this in news and politics. And okay, let's go. And we are ready to go. Public. Publish. All right. All right, there it is. Get back into the broker. That would have been a good trade. Fortunately, I'm running behind today. Unfortunately, I'm running behind. Okay, that will do it. Look at this. Look at this nice drop that we're having here. Is there any reason not to get into this now? Could be exhausted, yeah. But might be something we want to take here. Let's see how it plays out now. Okay. All right, sorry about that. Had to get everything going before it was we got started, and unfortunately may have let a pretty decent trade pass by here while that was all going on. But hey, the morning's just getting started, And there's a lot of good trading left to do today. What do I like to do here? I need to get my 5-second chart up. My 1 hour over there. 5-second right below my 10-second. Looks like this might want to go again. Shall we take? You know, I don't want to FOMO into this. I don't want to FOMO into this. So I think I'm just going to wait here, get my bearings, take a deep breath. Don't jump into anything precipitously. Nobody likes that. All right. Oh, you know what I need to do too before we all get started here? And I need to go back over here to my videos. Get the shareable link, go over to the BarcelonaTrader.com and put this analysis video, latest analysis video, on the home page. So let's see, users, no, that's not where I'm going. Editor, right there. Templates, front page. Let's see. Edit that, edit that. Now, if you want to see the pre-session analysis, it is on the home page at the BarcelonaTrader.com. All right, back to the charts. Okay, so what I like to do is pull up a blank page here on my iPad and do my journaling by hand. One of the reasons I like to do this is I use an Apple Pencil. My handwriting gives me insights into my emotional and mental states. It's one of the best ways you have at the beginning, as you're still figuring out how to learn your emotional states and make a decision about when you should trade and when you shouldn't trade. You know, meditation helps, time on the chart helps, when you realize when you're making your biggest mistakes, that body feeling that you have, you know, you eventually learn all of these things as you progress in your trading career. But one of my earliest tells was my handwriting. If my handwriting was sloppy or jittery, my handwriting is pretty sloppy as it is all the time. But if it was especially sloppy, especially jittery, then I knew, hey, I'm not in the right state to trade here. I need to take some deep breaths, calm down, step away from the chart for a few minutes, kind of shake everything off, and come back and just be in a really good flow state for when you trade. Trading is it requires you to be on. Requires you to be even better if you can be in flow state when you're trading. So anyway, I'm going to write down. It is now 7:46. My New York session begins. And then I just write, although I've just written that, I write handwriting check. Okay. All right, now let's begin. Let's take a little trip around the block here and see what we have going on. We have our 1 minute spot gold chart right here. But first, let's look at it on the 5 minute. Zoom out a little bit. And what we've seen fact, if we look at it on the 15-minute first, we get a little bit better idea. Okay, so this gray line here that runs vertical is the market opening last night at 6 p.m. Market closes between 5 p.m. and 6 p.m. 6 p.m. the market opens in Asia in the morning of July 29th, and the first thing it does is it comes down. It comes down and it hits the DM2 pivot, which is typically where on the intraday charts sellers take profit, so it bounced from there, came up, found some resistance here, came back down, didn't quite get down to the DM2 again, but kind of flirted with it, bounced from there, came back up just above the same level, so it created a bit of a higher high, so a higher low and a higher high, establishing a kind of an uptrend, came back down, another higher low, and then another higher high. When it got up here, this blue thick line here is last week's low of the week. So we broke through the low of the week yesterday, right around 9:45 a.m. during the New York session. And here we poked up through it in the London session, but now we've rejected and we've come back down. And we're flirting with this orange line here, which is yesterday's point of control. Point of control is where the most volume was traded. This is the price level right here at about 33.13.9, about 33.14 is where the most interest was shown in yesterday's price. Most of the purchases, sells and buys, I guess, occurred at that price level. So typically what happens when price hits that level, it kind of evaluates its life choices and decides whether it's going to continue up or down. Over here we have the 30-minute DXY, which is the dollar index measured against a basket of other currencies. We see the dollar has been gaining strength overnight. Came back down a little bit here, but is on its way up. Here up on the top right, we have the 30-minute chart for the dollar, and on the bottom we have the 1-minute chart for the dollar, just so I can kind of see what's going on in general and what's going on up to the minute. Gold is priced in dollars, so dollars and gold tend to act inversely. When the dollar's rising, gold tends to drop, and vice versa. Over here on the left side of the chart, we have the 10-year U.S. Treasury bond. They also tend to move inversely with gold. Just like to keep my eye on that. I'm not going to go into all the depth and breadth of everything that I look at here on just this session, but over time, if you show up, if you're following us, you'll start to understand, what we look at and how it relates to price movements. This is the VIX. The VIX is the volatility index. When the VIX is high, that means that there's fear in the market, there's a lot of volatility in the market. The VIX is very low right now, down here in the 14 range. It means, there's not a lot of, the market isn't jittery, the volatility isn't really there. We'll see smooth movements mostly. Now that can change in any minute. Somebody declares war on someone else or some bombs start falling, the volatility index is going to go up and gold is going to react. Okay, so back to the 1-minute chart here on spot gold. Let's take stock of where we are. We see price right now is sitting, sometimes it's easier for me to see over here on this other chart. We're sitting just below, so this light purple line that you see right here is the daily pivot point. So we're sitting below the daily pivot point, and our next pivot is this DM2 down here. So in theory, we have clean range to trade between the daily pivot point and the DM2. In practice, so that's in theory. In practice, we've got a support zone here. We've got this little zone here. It's one of my indicators, which indicates that there's bull volume sitting there. So when price hits both the point of control and then the bull volume, we can expect a reaction of some sort. Usually it's going to pop back up right there. But there might be a clean trade from here down to this support here on the 1-minute chart. but right now we're not seeing, well, I guess the volume isn't too bad. And today, when my colleague Tono shows up, we trade spot gold. I'm trading right now gold futures. And so I like to, I look at the spot gold charts to do all of my charting and my pivots and my support and resistance zones and all of that good stuff, because that's where the world does its charting when it comes to gold. But price discovery happens mostly on futures. Right now, futures and spot gold are roughly the same price. They're only about $3 apart. I won't go into those right now, but if you are interested in why spot and futures have different prices, you can go to the BarcelonaTrader.com, scroll down the front page until you start getting to the blog articles. Right above there, there's a search bar. You can type in gold futures, and you'll see an article come up talking about why spot gold and futures have different prices and how that works. Let's see if I have a note here from Tono suggesting he's not coming today. He said he had a rough night. He's going to try to show up by 9 a.m. He's been a little under the weather recently, so it's just me here today for now. Have a couple of others that might show up. Speaking of which, I do need to send out a quick email. Bear with me. I'm keeping my eye on things, so if we need to take a trade in the meantime, we will. I won't leave you hanging. All right, here we go. Now, if you join our Zoom room, you will receive this email. I send out the briefing. Of course, you can get the briefing yourself on YouTube or on the front page of BarcelonaTrader.com. And I send out the Zoom link so that you can join us in the Zoom room without the YouTube delay. And it's better for interacting directly with us, getting some personalized coaching on specific issues that you have. And if you choose to follow our trades and copy them, then you can do it on YouTube, but with the Zoom you get no latency, no delay, so it's a little bit easier. And watch on YouTube. I'll send them that link as well in case some of them are on the road and can't join the Zoom, but they want to watch us here on YouTube. Let's see. There we go. My session, July 29, 2025. Bang. Gone. Okay. Here we are again. Oh, and I see. Come on, Mike, pay attention, pay attention, pay attention. I need to change this is not the Asia session. This is the New York session. So I need to change that in the panel. New York, so far no trades taken. Okay. All right, I'm looking at possibly a sell right here. Price could come down here. I want to see, there's this support here. So if we do continue to come down, I want to see it break through this support. There's a support that I'm looking at on the 1 minute as well, right here. I kind of want to see it break through that. And then we have at least a couple of pips that we could get a little trade on there. I like what I'm seeing over here on FX Blue Relative Strength Index. The dollar is significantly stronger than gold. And as long as those are diverging, that is, as long as gold is getting weaker and the dollar is getting stronger, then I feel comfortable taking a sell trade. If I see those converging, with this number decreasing and this number increasing, even if the differential is still stronger, where the dollar is stronger than gold, I don't want to take a sell trade if those are in the process of converging. So we're at positive 5.3 for the dollar, positive 1.3 for gold. As long as that stays steady right there, and we continue to come down. Okay. It's going to be a short trade. I'd like to see a little bit more momentum behind it. I'm not ready to get into it because it could just move up. It hasn't really broken that support yet. And it certainly hasn't yet on the 1 minute. I'm looking at a Renko chart as well. And if you trade with us, we can get you set up so that you're seeing all of our indicators as well. What you're seeing here on screen is, well, right now you're looking at a 10-second futures chart. Below here, what you're looking at is gold and the US dollar. So I'm just kind of keeping track, in several different ways of seeing, what the relative strength between the two is. Gold is priced in dollars, so that's the reason that works that way. Okay, so this is not moving in the direction of travel. Now, an inexperienced trader, well, either an inexperienced trader or perhaps a very aggressive experienced trader might have taken that little buy up. I don't like to counter trend, and right now all of my indications are suggesting that price is going down. So I'm not going to be taking a buy trade right now. All right, YouTube, I'm back. Just saying goodbye to my wife. If you're on YouTube, do me a favor. Obviously, we just got started, and we're still pretty much in beta trials on these things. But if you hit like and subscribe to to the channel. That helps us get some more traction. If you can just leave a like, that would be very helpful as well. If not, a subscribe. Okay. So one of my weaknesses in trading recently has been, for some reason, I've been holding on to some losers for too long. So my challenge today is, if I happen to get into a losing trade, I need to cut it short. I don't use an automatic stop loss. I use a manual stop loss. Several reasons for that, but the main one is that the copy trader that I use, I'm trading multiple accounts, and the copy trader that I use at Tradeovate doesn't allow me to set an automatic stop loss at the moment that I place the trade. I have to go in after the trade is open and then set the stop losses. And a lot of my trades are just too short. They last 30 seconds, 15 seconds, and I'm watching those trades like a hawk while they're on. So I don't have the bandwidth, the mental bandwidth to go in and set my stop loss. By the time I get it set, it might have already been hit. I really need to just watch market structure and get out of bad trades. Okay, so we see that that gold is gaining strength against the dollar. So it looks like we might have a buy trade or two coming here. Now, there's not enough, well, volume is coming into the market. So it is 8:05. And gold is strengthening. Okay, I see there, there's the daily pivot is right above where we are now. So I don't want to get into this. This is the daily pivot, this purple line right here. We're looking at the 1 minute chart. And this might be worth getting into too, but this might just be some profit taking, might just be some hitting of that, the zone of the daily pivot. So it's pushing down a little bit, but we might have some buying pressure here. It's looking like gold is gaining strength against the dollar. Down here we have gold already above it. But my indicators are still mixed in terms of, which direction we're going here. Officially, the New York session starts at 8 o'clock. We're already into that. I like to set some alarms on my watch for 8:19, for example, so that I'm alert at 8:20, which is the COMEX open. 8:29, right before 8:30. Same with 8:59, 9:29, 9:59. I also set for 10:29 and 10:59 in case we're still here at that time. Okay, it looks like we are pushing up through daily pivot. Not quite yet. But I like that it took some support here and is now pushing off of that. It tells me it has some ambition. I'm not going to quite get into it yet. We see parity almost now between the strength of the US dollar and gold, 4.9, 4.8. So I'd like to see gold pull ahead of that if we're going up. Here we are, messing with the pivot. See, we hit that pivot and came back down. Had I gotten into a buy right there, I would have regretted that. Back to the 1 minute. There's the pivot. You see there's, it's hit that a couple times. It came down, it hit it right here at about 7:27 this morning. Came down here and formed this W pattern. Now if it can break through with some momentum, we might have a trade up to about here where it formed this resistance before, this support before, right over here. Or it might move up into this blue zone, which is last week's low of the week. Oh, you know what I'm noticing again? Why would anybody be watching when my charts don't seem to be moving? This happens every day. Live, let's see, trading screen. I need to do this. There we go. Something I need to remember to do every morning. I don't know why that happens. That is very strange phenomenon on OBS. Check just to make sure there is no news this morning. This is Tuesday. At 8:30 we have some goods trade balance. These are yellow folders. So at 10 a.m. this morning we have JOLTS job openings. So that will, and we have CB consumer confidence. So we do have some news this morning at 10 a.m. So we will be here for that. We're going to be trading that. let's see what we have here. Now what happens if I do this? Let's see. Okay. I don't want to double up my camera on here, so I'll move that back over here. Okay. Still figuring it out. That's why we're in beta. That's why we're in beta. Another thing I think I need to do is copy that. I need to have a checklist. That's what I need to do. I need to have a checklist. Let's see here. Now we're showing gold stronger than the dollar. So unless price action really is showing me some downward momentum, I'm not taking a sell. We're still right here on the pivot. If you look over here, it's the pivot. So, you know, it could just be coming down, retesting the pivot to go back up. You don't know what it's going to do. You just know, you know some of its moves. You develop an intuition for it. I think in the YouTube description of this live stream, you can see. Let me double check it and make sure. Yeah, you can see there's a link to my indicator stack. There's a link to why we trade gold and gold futures. There's a link to how we describe our edge, and a couple of other links. So if you have, questions that I guess we would consider frequently asked questions, you can find a lot of the answers right there. Now looking down here on the bottom right of my screen, what I see here are XAUUSD. 69% of retail traders are long. 30.9% of retail traders are short. Now you don't like to go with the herd, because the herd is the prey. The market makers are going after the prey. They're going to try to trigger those stop losses. So usually when, one of the indicators is if the majority of retail traders are long, we're probably going down. But right now, we're not doing anything. Okay. Not ready to take this yet. We have 1 minute for the COMEX open. No, that was the COMEX open. Okay. And my broker decided to log me out right there. Thought I wasn't in the middle of a trade. Okay, chat, I'm going to be right back. Nothing's happening right now. I'm going to probably grab a little more caffeine and a little something sweet. I'll be right back. Okay, little movement to the upside there, that's good. That's what we want to push through if we're going up. And it does look like we are. Make sure we're not running into any pivots here. We're above the daily pivot. So if we are moving up, I'm going to get in. We're in a trade. We're in profit, but not by much. All right, didn't like the way that was moving. I took $30, which is better than a hot stick in the eye. Nothing to write home about, but it is something to put up on the board, right? One trade, one win. And I'm going to journal that, as I always do. So I like to pull up my trusty TradeZilla. They're not a sponsor. I just enjoy their platform. Alright, so I took that. Now we could have faded that, but that's not what I'm about this morning. Today, it's Tuesday, not a lot of volume. We've got FOMC coming up this week. So I'm not trying to aggressively ride the bull here. I'm looking at what direction the market is going. I'm taking trades in that direction, taking breakout and continuation trades here on the 10-second chart right now. So I took that trade at 8:23. So, $30 is $30. That's nothing, right? But across all of my accounts, that's not bad. Trading a lot of accounts. Okay, what was that resistance that we encountered? Let's look at that. Here on the 1-minute chart, let's see what happened. Okay, we didn't really hit a resistance, but we did hit the top of this regression channel, this dotted blue line here. You see the solid blue line in the middle and the dotted blue line on the bottom that indicates the channel that we're trading in. So we kind of hit the natural top of that channel where it had hit it before up here and decided to come down a little bit. Now if we're going into another range, it will pop up through here. Okay, that is 8:29. We have 1 minute before the 8:30 candle. These half-hour candles, especially at this time of day, tend to bring volume into the market. Volume moves price. Kind of stuck at a consolidation zone here for a little bit, a few minutes anyway. This area right here is just kind of hanging out. I'd like to see it break above here with some gusto. We're still showing the dollar as stronger than, gold is stronger than the dollar. So I'm not really into these sell trades, but this price is moving. But we're coming right back into the pivot. Right back into the pivot, and I don't want to trade into that. See that? That's that line right there. Pivot tends to act like a magnet, so price will go through it, come back to it, sometimes come back below it, but then come back to it. I like it's much easier to trade away from the pivots. Look how nicely that's coming down. And of course, in hindsight, you say, well, yeah, that would have been a good trade, but you can't trust it. You can't trust it. And the name of the game here first is protect your capital. Don't gamble. Take trades where the probability is in your favor. And even though this did what I would have wanted it to do for a good trade, the probability of it doing that was less than it not doing that. And that is one of the biggest challenges of trading is, you know, if I had taken that trade and I had made profit on that trade, I would have trained myself to take those kinds of trades the next time. Oh yeah, that worked out. That worked out. Worked out again. And then one day it doesn't work out. And then another day it doesn't work out. And then you're like, well, are those just flukes, or is it invalidating my thesis that those are the kinds of trades I should be taking? And it can take you forever to figure that out if you don't have a good mentor who tells you. I apologize if you can hear my dog barking in the background. She hears something out in the hallway and is convinced it is Armageddon. If I yell at her to be quiet, it just encourages her. I'll have to turn off my mic for a second. Her name is Hattie, short for Hadron Collider. I'm kind of a physics nerd. I like to put on this relaxing piano music while I trade. Again, I regard trading like, I don't know, there's so many things you can compare it to, but it's like a serious tennis match every morning. You want to go out and you want to be at your best. You want to be in the zone. If you're not at your best, you're going to lose. So it's better not to play that day. And this piano music is just kind of helps me stay calm and in the zone. And you know, sometimes you wake up, you put on the news, which I do, but the news kind of riles you up. It's like, oh, there was a shooting in Manhattan last night. Oh, there's something going on between Israel and the Palestinians, and oh, Iran's getting bombed, and you know, you kind of get energy from all of that. Again, I apologize for my dog. But when I sit down with the charts, I look at the economic news, and I just try to focus on that and focus on my trading. Okay, we're back above the pivot. And now we could be going up again. Let's see what we have just above here. Gold is stronger than the dollar. We push above this orange this orange resistance line with some conviction. Okay, we did not push up. We're coming back down. This meandering is, it's just keeping us sitting on our hands. It's not really showing us. It's not really showing us what it wants to do. If we look at it here on a 15-minute chart, see the New York session in this orange box here. Started at 8 a.m. New York time. Sure, it has gone up, but then it hasn't gone up any further than that. It's moving sideways here. It's hard to trade this short of a range. Move that back to the 5-minute chart, and you kind of see the same thing. New York session started here, up, 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 down, up, down, sideways, just these small little candles. Untradeable. Looks more impressive here on the 10-second chart, but we're just reading the same thing. Now we're down below the pivot again. Right? Here's the pivot. Price is now below it. Just keeps dancing on this pivot. Okay, we might be moving below, and gold is weakening. Not much room to go down here, though. Got two little supports here that it needs to break through. It's got another support here on the 1 minute that, see, there it goes, pushing back up again. Also, what we've noticed over here, while we continue to see retail traders are long, we keep seeing this right here over on the right side of the screen where you see my cursor, US dollar and XAU, which is gold. Positive 3.7, positive 3.4. These numbers keep staying very close to each other, and that doesn't give us any indication about which direction this wants to go. And so we just hang here dancing around the daily pivot. Right here, this orange line is also the Sunday open. So that's another area price keeps coming back to. I want to see it break above here, the 33.23 line. Okay, can we push up through here? Again, I don't want to take a trade here because I'm in a resistance zone that I see on my 1 minute Hakanashi chart on my MetaTrader 4. So I don't want to take that. But when it gets above this swing high, if it moves through that, that's what I'm talking about. Can it do it? Can it do it with conviction? Gold is getting significantly stronger than the dollar right now, so we could be in conditions to do that. Come down, find some support, and then push off of that. All right, find some support above the pivot. Okay, here we come. Let's see. See what it wants to do here. It's kind of evaluating its life, deciding what it wants to be. It's turning out to just kind of be one of those days. Waiting for tomorrow, or waiting for the 10 o'clock news. You know, both of those things. Gold will just kind of consolidate sometimes and hang out and chill and not really provide any good trading opportunities up until the news. And the news helps it establish a direction for the day. But a caveat to that also is that when the news tomorrow, which is going to be the Fed interest rate decision, is so weighty, so important, sometimes the news today, no matter what it is, even if it's wildly unexpected, just doesn't move the market much. I guess it could if it was very soft data. It's very soft data indicating that the economy is much worse than we thought it was. Then that could move the market significantly, driving gold up, because we would be anticipating that that print, that data, might influence the Fed's decision tomorrow to raise or to lower interest rates, which would drive gold up again, but the market would be trying to price that in today. Okay, let's see what we have here. We're going to get up through this swing high. Probably, I have to anticipate that it's more of a fake out than an actual move, because we can take advantage of the fake out if we're quick. But, you know, it's most likely a fake out because we're pre-news. See? There it goes, coming back. Now, traders who went long right there, at least for now, are trapped. They're either going to get stopped out or they're going to be holding and trapped up there until price comes back, which it may do immediately, or that may have just been a fake out and it's going to come back down and piddle around several pips below and just consolidate until news. And that's why context is so important. It's not just price action. It's knowing what time of day it is, what news is coming up, how price behaves before news, depending on news, the fact that it's not just the news at 10 that we have coming up, but the fact that the FOMC rate decision is tomorrow. All of these things can give you an indication to what price might be doing right now. Higher probability of a fake out before the news, because there's just not going to be enough volume in the market. Not enough traders are going to be jumping on a big price move right now when you know that just a little over an hour from now the market might pick a completely opposite direction, and they don't want to get trapped either. decides to move aggressively from here up, there is a little buy that I would take. Because I do see that gold is now significantly stronger than the dollar. And so even a little move up would be little enough. It, it still might be a fake out. I could scalp that little fake out for, 30 or 50 bucks without taking much risk. Okay, I'm thinking about getting in here, depending on what price does here. It's coming back to let the previous people out. That must mean it's going to go a little higher. Keeps playing this little game. Let's go back and take a look at the 1 minute. Well, it's playing the same, obviously playing the same game here, just represented with different candles. Just not letting it break above there. But we've got until about right there. Which isn't a lot, but it's enough for it to be an interesting enough trade if you can get in on time. Just looking at the Renko here to see if it would break a little resistance or if it's just gonna turn around. Okay, I'm in for a little buy. Don't have a lot of room. I have a little room. what's going on here. We've got a little room. We've got a little room. Oops, we are 1 minute away from the 9 o'clock candle. I don't like that. Not ready to invalidate yet, but I don't like the way this moved. Let's come back up. We've got 20 seconds for the 9 o'clock candle. 9 o'clock candle will send this in one direction or the other. If it sends it down, I'm going to have to get out with a loss. If it sends it up, one, 9 o'clock. Ooh, sending it down. Ouch. Let's see if that's a Judas move or if it's coming back up here. Okay. Just put a little bottom wick on that. Looks like we have some upward momentum. Is it going to be enough to get me out of this trade that I should not be in? Should I just take the break even? Or shall I give it that little chance? Back for at least another little retest to the top. Maybe not. if it can just bring me up a little bit more here, probably get out with a loss, but not as bad of a loss as it was looking. Yeah. Famous last words. It is developing some upward strength here for gold. Here we are, we're back into a $200 loss, a $190 loss, 170, 150, 140, okay. Okay, we're getting some upward momentum here. We might even get out with our shirt. I don't want to ride this back down very far. Give it a little boost up. Starting to look like it might not have it in it. Okay, that is too much. Don't like that. Here it comes again. This is my Achilles heel. Come on, give me a little push up. Here it comes. And my broker decides to log me out. Not a good look. Okay, I've got to take the loss here. I can't sustain this loss. And my broker's not cooperating. So what am I going to do? Hit the pivot. Is it going to come up? That is the maximum loss that I can withstand. And I need to quit trading for the day. All right. I'm going to walk away and try to reset for a little bit. How do I put some text in here? That bigger. All right. I'll be back. Okay. Here I am. What do we have going on here? Alright, YouTube, I'm probably not going to trade again. I took a loss. I haven't put that on the board yet, but it was a big loss. When I stacked that on top of last night's loss, even though I ended yesterday in the green, today is a red day. sense, it does appear that we have taken a direction. But again, it's just not that clear, especially on the 15-minute chart. I'll move it over to the 5-minute. Let's be forthright about what's going on here. Sometimes it just takes a minute to process everything. got 3 minutes to news. All right, less than 2 minutes to news. We're getting job openings and jolts. If job openings are lower than expected, that would mean the economy is not doing as well as we thought. The dollar would drop, gold would rise. Consumer confidence, the same. If consumer confidence is low, dollar will drop, gold will rise. One minute to news. Put this down here. This is what we're looking at right here. Two, one, here we go. Looks like the market is anticipating it going up, but we don't have the data yet. Good for dollar, consumer confidence. So gold should go down, but the jolts is going to be more important. Oh. Jolts is bad for dollar. So it looks like gold might go up. Let's see just how bad. 7.5, well, not that much of a difference. Not that much of a difference. So we're gonna see a subdued market, I think. I don't think it's really gonna react that much. Mixed data. Okay, I think that is, that's all we're going to do. I'm going to end the stream here because there's nothing going on. So there we go. We'll see you at 7:45 tonight for the Asia session, and then tomorrow again for FOMC. All right? Have a great rest of your day. Well, look at that. Looks like we're going down. Don't want to mess around with that. Not funny. Not funny. Not funny. Keep going.